Hello, this is a tutorial on using a Google app tool called LucidChart. LucidChart is a built-in add-on inside your Google products. So if you go up here to the app launcher, you can do this from any one of your Baker areas. So you can do this if you're in Drive. I happen to be in the Gmail right now. And you have a list of all kinds of things. This is the most frequently used Google apps. If you work your way down through the More button, you'll find an item down here called LucidChart Diagrams. So I will open that up in a second. There are a number of different features that LucidChart will allow you to work through. There's a lot of great templates that are built in, but it's primarily used for things like concept mapping or mind mapping. Now there are easier tools to use like Bubble Us and MindMeister, which there are already tutorials about that in the EdTech guide. But LucidCharts allows you to do a whole bunch of different things. It is a little bit more sophisticated, so you have to kind of play with it a little bit. There's a little bit higher learning curve. But for concept mapping or concept formation, or mind mapping, any of those types of categories of instructional strategy, it allows you to do some to categorize the learning, allow students to group content based on certain characteristics. You can demonstrate or visually show a process, an organization chart. You can classify objects, events, or ideas. You can explore different ideas by making connections. You can see relationships between items of information. And you can show students can show that they have formed an understanding of some concepts and the connections that they're able to identify, and allows them to do a little bit of comparison. So let's take a look at LucidChart and some of the things that you can do. I'm going to first of all go right up here to plus document, and this allows me to create a new mind map. Now as you can see over here, there's a bunch of templates. The standard area here, you got some different additional options for if you're going to do things in teams and what have you. I'm just going to stay in the standard area here. The one area that I want to point out to you is the categories area. I happen to be on Mind Map right now, but they also have a flowchart. So depending on what you're doing, this is a blank flowchart. There's always a blank template available in each one of these categories, but they also have some of the more commonly used items. Here's some value stream mapping, some SIPOC diagrams, so if you wanted to do some Lean Six Sigma stuff, simple business process, that's what this one is. Here's a support process, so if you were maybe had to design the layout of a help desk. Here's a sales process, so there's some different purposes here. So we have business analysis. So here's a SWOT analysis. We have a SWOT analysis template, a cause and effect diagram. So there's some different things here if you're in the educational area. Venn diagrams, some different choices of numbers of connections, cause and effect, classification, mind map, cluster chart, all kinds. Here's some comparison contrast, comparison analysis, all kinds of different templates that are kind of a great place to start because they're already laid out for you and you can just kind of change that information. Here's analysis of doing a research paper and the process there, all kinds of different things. Engineering, you have some circuit diagrams and so forth. ERD relationship. Here's a floor plan, flow chart I showed you already, mind map, network infrastructure. So if you're on the IT side and you need to put together some type of a visual to go along with a report. In the business world, here's an organizational chart, so forth, wireframes. So if you're somebody who's doing some graphic design or some web design, the ability to show the potential client what something is going to look like before you actually do that is kind of neat. And so we're going to click on a mind map. I can pick a basic one. I can pick a blank one if I'd like, and then just start building. If you pick a basic one, it's going to launch, and you basically you give it a name. Got to spell it right. And then you have some of these basic things in here. So I can just double click in the box and I can change the topic that was in that box. These are just placeholders right now. And I also have the ability to adjust the color of the box. So I can do the main parent areas and then the sibling connections off to the side here. And so all I'm doing is kind of moving, just kind of scrolling to move myself around different areas. I have my mind map symbols down here, so if I wanted to come in and add something else down here, or if I was doing flow charting, if I wanted to add some images, point some things out, I got an arrow, all kinds of check mark and so forth. So all kinds of graphical images here. You can see that it's a lot more sophisticated than Bubbleless or MindMeister. It just depends on where you're at and what you need to do. There are the ability to make some templates or to make some easy products with the templates that are built in, but you don't have to get as sophisticated as some of the images and diagrams and tools that you have available. You also have a toolbar over here to the side, which allows you to add some different things here. You can add some text to a particular spot that's not out there. And this is kind of more of the flow if you're going to have multiple pages and so forth. It does, there's a little bit more of a learning curve here again than there is with Bubbleless or MindMeister, but if you're looking for something a little bit more sophisticated, or you've used those other tools and gotten about as much out of it as you possibly can and are looking to kick it up a notch, LucidChart is something that may do that for you. You also have the ability, like you do with a lot of products, you can share your finished item with somebody else. So I can email users or groups, I can generate a link and send them the link. And so again, since this is a Google product, we can actually, in our sharing, we can actually have multiple people work on the document at the same time. I would just enter an email address of either the individual user, or if I have people put together in a group, so I would do that. I can email collaborators, send invitations, so forth. So this is called LucidChart. It's going to take a little bit of work. There is a quite learning curve here, but it does offer some additional features, and it is a more powerful tool than some of the other concept mapping or mind mapping tools that we've previously demonstrated. Thanks.